Party time. Party time. Party time. Party time. Drink your drinks and eat your eats. It's party time. Laugh your laughs and heat your heats. It's party time. Smile your smiles and blue your blues. It's party time. Dance a dance and shoe your shoes. It's party time. Howl your howls and suck your socks. It's party time. Yeah. Oh baby, grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. Grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. Everybody, grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. One more. Grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. Here we go. Party time. Yeah. Party time. Party time. Yeah. Party time. 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 Hey. Party time. Yeah. Party time.
Yo, all right there. I'm a bit disappointed Packer ain't here. He's in the chat. He's obviously not up for it today. I am so knackered, but at least we've got the camera working again. You know what? I've been working all day. Yeah, have a look at what my work life involves. If I get out of shot, that might focus. Nope. If I get in shot, it might. And that's a key. And you put the key in there. Now, if anyone in the chat who's not from the other channel can tell me what that's for, that's 10,000 points. I've been, hello Broken Silence, good to see you. I also see, hello Duper Guy. I also see Joan Jackson turn up. I'm sure I did. Where is that one? There you go. Hello, Joan. I hope you're all right, love. Amazing stuff. Lars is on the firm. Mousecat is on the firm. Mousecat read Infinite Jest in a couple of days. Fucking great work. You know, there's been a few scrubs read Infinite Jest. I'm so happy. I'm so happy about that. Just even giving it a go is a great thing. But I've been working all day, and work is, I'm not moaning. I'm just, you know, I'm in actually in a good mood, but I haven't eaten today, so I'm a bit And well, didn't you know, the real Vincent Griffin, Vinnie Griffin, has been a member for 30 months. He's been here longer than that. He didn't miss the stream. Nice one, Vincent. Machano, Capraccia Tutti. Packer, if you want it, do you want to come in? I'll put it in the chat. It's not a key condom. No, why would you need that? To stop the lock getting pregnant, I suppose. I'll put it in there, Packer. You can up to you, mate. Livy has been on the phone for 9 months. It's been longer than that. Of course. I mean, no one wants a lock to get pregnant, do they? That would be awful. Well, there you go. It's in the chat. Hurry up so I can delete it, so that someone hasn't got the time to quickly set up a Packer account, come on and go bum and other things that you're not allowed to say. But you can say bum on YouTube. There you go. Let me get rid of that now. I can't even see it now. Did I just see Wolfie in here as well? Delete comment. Bosh, thank the Lord, you saved me tonight. I am absolutely cream crackered, man. Working all
Me and all.
day, and work is intense at the moment because the market's changed over the last 5 years. You know, Temu is operating at a massive loss deliberately. That's why you can get like £500 bits of kit on there for like £2. They're just establishing themselves. They've planned to lose something like $500 million. And you can't compete with that. And AliExpress and Amazon and eBay. So what you do as a small business, you have to start doing different things. When I set my business up, I was doing different things to what all the other businesses were doing. They all went out of business. And I'm at risk of becoming that bloke now while all the youngsters are doing the new things. But luckily, I've got a better head screwed on my shoulders than that. But it's intense, you know, it's because not only have you got to do all the new work, but you've got to do all the stuff that just keeps the cogs running. And so it gets to about 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, right, that's work done. Then I'll have half hour just sitting there. And then I'll start writing. And as soon as the sun comes up, I'll go to bed. And then, like the water delivery people, don't forget, I'll say this to them in Khmer, don't forget I work nights. So can you come like in the afternoon? Yeah, no problem. 9:00 in the morning, 3 hours, Kip. And I can't get back to sleep. If I'm woken up, that's it. And I'm just like, oh yeah, thanks again. So anyway, that's me, but that's life, isn't it? That's the way it goes. That is the way it goes. How have you been, Packer?
I've been busy. Just got really busy at work. I've been arsing around with a fence all day. So,
hang on, we'll explain.
Oh, it's just I'm putting a new fencing in the garden at work, and I was on the last little bit, and all the fencing panels have to be cut to size. So they're pre-bought fence panels, but I have to take them to bits and cut them down, and I have to cut the kickboard and all that sort of thing. And
what's that? So you've got a table, you've got a saw, you have to tape measure, and then go zzz, and then get the next one and go zzz, and it's that.
Yeah, it's as easy as that. No, I have to measure them all individually and then pick the bloody things to bits because they're all made of real cheap wood. These fence panels, they're all like feather thin wood, so you can't mess with them too much because they will just start to split and snap.
That doesn't sound good at all. Well, you know, sometimes it's like that. But as I always say, Packer, I'd rather be complaining about work I've got than work I haven't.
Yeah. On the plus side, it was a lovely sunny day. So
there you go. John Palmer said AI can't lay bricks. You sure? But John Fuse is getting a bit concerned about it. Well, I'll try not to get into it, but it's a tool. It will have an effect on civilization at least as much as the internet, possibly as much as electricity. You know, it is an industrial revolution. That's not even up for debate. I mean, you could obviously debate anything, but we're in an industrial revolution. I'll tell you now, this is the tip of the iceberg. People are talking, oh, AI is everywhere. You haven't seen we haven't seen anything yet. And I you know, that's it's in my humble opinion, but the things they're doing, the things that the likes of Palantir are doing, if this is just the start of the show, and good Lord, where that's going to go, who knows? But it is just a tool. So what you've got to ask yourself is, that's neutral. It's a question of what humans do with it. Like a gun doesn't kill anyone. But, you know, I'm actually really happy to be alive at this time. I'd have been gutted if I was like 70 or something now and AI had come out. I was like, oh, I'd have been like, you bastard, why not 20 years ago? And it's not because I think the sex dolls are coming. I've got something I want to show you, actually. It's kind of weird. There's we'll get into that in a minute. Anyway, let's get the grift out of the way because I'm also skint. Right. Top of the YouTube chat, you can do buy me a coffee. If you do that, you get a video reply, which everyone has got. I've done all them. They're great. That'll happen tonight. So that's the best one, actually. That's the one where I get the biggest cut of the filthy lucre. You've also got entropy. At the bottom of the YouTube chat, super chat. And I think that's it. So there you go. That's the grift. Oh, yeah, the other one, the old Scrubs wall is coming on a treat. I've actually spent the time and effort. And when you've been to art school for like 8 years, you don't fuck about. You get that. Look at the Scrubs wall there. Look, I've even put them into bricks, like their own little briquettes. So if you don't know, if you donate 20 quid, I'll put your name on the back of my house. It might be the front. Speaking about my house, look how clever, and I'm so impressed with my missus. We're likely not going to be able to build that house for a couple of years, just for money reasons. And also, well, that's it actually. But she's been out buying little tiny plants, durian, jackfruit, coconuts, bananas, loads of vegetables as well, and loads of sort of boring stuff. And she spent the last 3 days up there digging holes, putting them in the ground. And she's got it so that in about 2 to 3 years, they'll be producing fruit. Now, that's not just her sort of thinking, I know what I'll do. That's how they live in the provinces, because most of them don't have any money, like literally nothing. There's no welfare. So they just make sure they've got food growing. And she's planted it all now. And by the time we move in, we'll have trees producing fruit. And you can sell it. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do with like 30 durian. I love it, but that's a lot of durian, man. Oh, it'll smell lovely, that garden, though, wouldn't it? Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely
Give it
beautiful.
to your minions that work for you in your jungle lair, Chris.
Well, my missus has actually employed some. I tell you what, Cambodian people are so nice, though. She offered her sister's husband $100 for 6 months watering those plants. All right, because it's all right now because it's rainy season, but come sort of like January, it won't rain for 6 months. And he refused the money. He said, what? Just going over there and putting some water on a lot of plants? He just said no. They're funny like that. I've got my regular tuk-tuk driver. Sometimes I'll give him the money and I'll do it via ABA. Everyone uses ABA out here, and he'll send me half of it back. And I go, what do you do that for? And he's like, it's too much. It's too much. And I just wanted to thank him. Do you know what I mean? It's a strange thing. I've seen him turn tips down from customers. I'm like, why are you doing that? You've got a family. And he's like, nah, it doesn't sit well with me. Joan Jackson, she's just signed up. She's on the firm. JJ Jetfire. Hoita. Nice one, Joan Jackson. Where have you been all this time? You've come back with a bang, with a bang and a boom and a wallop. Don't quite know what that means, but it's lovely to see you. It is, but that's also a lie. It smells strong, but people say it smells like poo, but it doesn't. You know, this time of year when they're being harvested, I can go out the door, walk up the road, and you can smell them. They're a strong smelling fruit. But when I smell them, I'm not like, oh, what's that smell of shit? I'm like, durian. And there's many ways of pronouncing it as well. And there's many different varieties. You can get the proper sort of bottom of the not very good ones. And then there's ones that they're called things like golden beetle. I'm not even joking. And like when you put them in your mouth, they change from velvet to silk to custard to banana. And you're just going, what is this? What kind of LSD fruit have you given me? It's incredible stuff. Yeah, and they're expensive as well. They're like, you're looking at about $15 for a kilo, unless my girlfriend buys them and it suddenly goes down to $10. But, you know, thanks. But that's how it should be. Because I'm a foreigner and they know the likelihood is I've got more money than them, they charge me more. Foreigners pay more for everything in Cambodia. Natives get money off, essentially. They like helping each other like that. That's right, though, isn't it? That's how it should be. Can you imagine trying to do that in England? Nah, it's more expensive for them because they're not English. Fucking hell, you probably go to prison. That's probably illegal, isn't it? It's probably illegal.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll tell you probably-
we've been so propagandized that I don't think we even understand how ridiculous it is that that's illegal. I mean, you tell them out here. If you say to me, if I was to write to the government and say, I keep trying to buy fruit from stalls on the street and they're charging me more because I'm a barang. The government write back and go, oh, good, well done. That's good of them to say thank you to them. You know, they wouldn't even understand it as a letter of complaint because no one would have any grounds to complain about that. Weird, isn't it? Now, JP, my mother and father used to grow rhubarb in the garden. I'll tell you what, those leaves are huge. And my mother was a terrible cook, terrible. But her desserts were fantastic. And my mother's rhubarb crumble and custard, it's up there in the top 10 desserts I've ever eaten. Amazing. Straight, exactly that, mouse cat. Catherine, welcome to my life. Growing and selling. That's the style. Hang on a minute. Are you suggesting, JP, that if you grow it from a where you've buried someone? It's not there anymore. When I was growing up, there was 5 lunatic asylums in Dartford, and I say lunatic asylum because one of them was officially called the Greater London Lunatic Asylum. It's amazing. But there was another one called Darrenth Park, and over Darrenth Park, it was never a great yield, but there were a few psilocybin magic mushrooms. You could get a few trips out of it. And we're over there once, me and a couple of mates, and they brought their mates who'd never done any hallucinogens before. And I'm always thinking, why do you bring these people when you're going to trip with me? Because it won't go well for them. And so they've all I'm like, listen, it's your first ever. Like, they're fresh as well. I said, why don't you just have 20 or 30, get a taste for it? Because if it goes wrong, 30 ain't that 30 is not going to be that bad. But so they've had about 30. Impatient. Mushrooms take ages to come up, don't they? Impatient. These ain't doing nothing. 10 more, 20 more, 30 more. Can of special brew, washing it down. I'm like, you're off your head. So I said, well, you will be. And of course, 40 minutes later, they're just struggling to cope with the realities of being alive. And I said to them, let me tell you a little story. I said, the reason you're feeling like you are, it was one of my best moments, actually. I said, the reason, and their mate, our mutual friend, was looking at me going, he could tell they were having trouble, but he didn't want them to see him, trying to, not that they'd have known what that meant by that time. They were doing all this one, And I said, the reason that you're feeling like you are isn't the mushrooms. That's what you're feeling isn't tripping. This used to be Darrenth Park Mental Hospital. Well, do you know the history of it? Because it got closed down because there was loads of abuse. There was loads of murders. They were killing the lunatics to make more space. And they buried them all in the grounds. And that's why the magic mushrooms grow. These mushrooms are the product of lunatic brains. Now, that might not sound much to you now, but when you're 16 and on your first ever trip, and you've got me keeping a totally straight face saying that, they were shitting themselves. It took me about 2 hours to bring them back. I was like, I made it all up. There was no murders. It got shut down because there was care in the community. And then you start talking about that, and they're like, "What do you mean care in the community?" I don't know what you mean. Like, well, what? There's people tripping. I'm like, no, look. And then I'm like, nah, this has backfired because I'm also tripping, and it's now hang on a minute. But that's what you get. What's the idiom, Packer, when you poke the bee's nest?
The bear, isn't it? Don't poke the bear.
Poke the bear. Let me
It's
have
like
a
that.
look.
Don't poke a bear.
Let me see. Let me see. Oh, we got a scrub, haven't we? Poke the bear. I've only just realised that's what it meant. I never knew what it meant. Let me see if I can find this. Hang on. Again, it's now one of these things where we're like, is this AI? But it looks pretty. Right, hang on. Right. Have a look at this. It's a short, so it's a bit small, but I think you'll enjoy it. All right, I'm going to mute myself so you don't get some mad echo. I'll get rid of me and Packer so it's a little bit bigger. Check this out.
Cave. Well, it's because he got chased by this sussy bear while exploring the forest, and now the bear is camping outside waiting for him. He's probably regretting all his life choices right now. After some time, though, it seems like the bear isn't planning to eat him, so he carefully crawls out of the hole. The bear starts sniffing him like it's searching for his soul, then goes straight for the camera. But somehow, this guy pulls off a Sigma-level escape and dips safely. Yet, despite this epic bear escape, only 2 people liked his video. Why is this guy breathing heavily inside the...
What do we make of that? I mean, the weird thing is that's a different version to the one I previously watched. Someone's obviously... The other version was much better. I feel like I've let myself down. And when I let myself down, I let us all down. There was a far better version than that. That ain't what I had to show you either. Now I bet I've lost that. Oh, no, here it is. This will make you laugh. Anyway, people, it is Wednesday. And don't worry, Jacks and Rags. I'll wrap this up long before your stream. I know you're streaming tonight. I want you to have a look at a little bit of this. There's a YouTube channel called Nate the Lawyer. He's this black fella. He's a lawyer. Do you know LawTube? It had Nick Recator, who ended up having sex parties and cocaine and went to court for, and that's all still going on, neglecting his kids, all sorts of hideous things. He went properly down here. He was taking like 10 grand a stream on super chats. And there's one bit of footage of him where he's sitting there so fucked, like he's been on it for a week. And he's going, oh, why'd you have to do that now? It went really wrong for him. But Nate the Lawyer is not like that. But it's a great little story. I did have to laugh. The video's called Towns, and that's so he didn't have to write Cincinnati. So I'll put that in. Cincinnati's first black female judge, right? First black female judge arrested, dragged out of court, and disbarred. And in her wake, there's a litany of just like she'd never been a judge. She just wasn't qualified. It was just like, it's just like DEI. This is the real life effects of DEI. As you'll see, at one point, she chucked the prosecutor out of court and said, I'll do it. And so the judge is also the prosecutor. It's absolute madness. Absolute madness. So let's have a look at it. It's a 14, 15, 16-minute video, but you get enough in the first few minutes just to think, wow. You know, there's reasons that we maintain standards or not. Here we go. Roll VT.
After a judge sentenced another judge to jail time, chaos erupted in an Ohio courtroom. And taking the defendant into custody wasn't so easy, as a court officer had to drag her.
That's her, people. That woman being dragged along the floor is Cincinnati's first ever black female judge. She refused to leave. And by the way, I think it's like 3 or 4 times before, when she's like lost control of the court, she's pretended to have like heart attacks, seizures, so they've had to call ambulances just so that she can like make an excuse to get out of her. I think he talks about that a bit, Nate the Lawyer. Roll VT.
The defendant into custody wasn't so easy, as a court officer had to drag her out.
So today we get to talk about Cincinnati's first black female judge who went to jail on 8 felony counts and had to be dragged out of court. This is former Judge Tracy Hunter. Now, Judge Hunter received her Juris Doctorate from the University of Cincinnati College of Law. Now, Judge Hunter felt she had a higher calling and ran for juvenile court judge in Cincinnati, Ohio, winning by 71 votes, becoming the first woman and first African-American to hold that position. Now, even though Tracy Hunter had no experience being a judge, she jumped in both feet first.
Had no experience. Like, yeah, I'll do it. You know, it's just incredible. Now, you have to get experience, but there's ways in the judiciary where you do that. And it ain't like this.
Trying to make major changes to the juvenile justice system there in Cincinnati. Then controversy hit because the judge started doing some really insane things. Like, for instance, the judge didn't like the prosecutor's office. So the judge decided to have mini trials where the judge herself would be both judge and prosecutor, and then have a trial about whether the prosecutor in the case should be sent to jail on contempt charges.
Apologize for what happened yesterday.
Well, it's not the intention of this court to embarrass you in any sense of the matter.
It was, to say the least, an unusual session. Tracy Hunter became judge and prosecutor, running a contempt hearing against attorney Jay Clark, calling people to testify and asking them questions.
Did the attorneys agree to the time?
But if a lawyer objected, Hunter would either sustain or overrule those objections to her questions.
Oh, hang on, you've got to check this out. So if the you know how it works. So you know the prosecutor usually could say something, and the defense can say, "Oh, that's hearsay, Your Honor," and then the judge will sort of say, "Yes, sustained or overruled." Because this woman doesn't have a clue what's going on, she just kept overruled. At one point, you'll hear her say sustained, overruled. It's just chaos. Now, funny as it is, and a true reflection of DEI, I mean, these people are flying commercial airliners around. It's these are people. Imagine this is you. Imagine this is your trial. Imagine this is you maybe going to prison on a 5-year mandatory or something like that. And you step in there and she sacks off the fucking prosecutor and you're like, eh? And it's just, it's funny, but she must have been practicing for about a year. How many trials, how many people are in prison who shouldn't be? How many people aren't in prison because they should be?
To her witnesses.
Is that correct?
Objection, reading.
Is that correct? I'm sorry, overruled.
Bill Gallagher was Clark's attorney at the hearing.
You sort of question whether or not you were really in a true courtroom. You hear about star chamber type of deals. That's sort of what I felt was going on.
Did Your Honor, Judge Tracy Hunter, tell you what to say at today's proceedings?
You weren't sure what witness was going to come next. You weren't sure what was going to be done next, and who do you turn to for help if the judge is the one that's conducting the hearing and calling the witnesses and making all the decisions.
What do you recall?
I'm going to object. That calls for hearsay. Statements made outside of the presence of this court being offered for the truth of the matter asserted.
Okay, thank you. Overruled.
Yeah, thank you. Overruled. I can't be bothered with that because I don't know what to say. I don't know how it works. I mean, you know, I haven't got a lot of time for the judiciary. I know what they've been doing in the UK, but that is it's next level. It's like that civilization just falling through the cracks. It's just, I don't know. I found that just shocking, just absolutely shocking. And just search Nate the lawyer. You watch the rest of it. It's just Ed in hand stuff all the way. Check out Dave's Waffle House, best channel on YouTube, has dropped a $1.99 super sticker. Thank you, David. I did tell Packer to tell you I'm waiting for you to come on for.
I told him I'd love to. Anytime we like you. So as soon as it's all right with you, you'd love to.
All right, Dave, send me an email, chris@chrisdangerfield.com. Let's make it happen.
He's terrified you're going to just get into his brain and pick his brain apart until it oozes out of his ears.
Oh, no, but that's what it does anyway. That's his show, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to try and put some of it back in there and make some sense of it all. It will be very interesting, Dave. I do watch most of your shows because I'm sitting here writing, but I don't want to chat because you've nicked most of my subscribers. So I want you to enjoy them rather than me. But yeah, just email me and we'll sort it out. That'll be amazing. That's going to be like Muhammad Ali and what was his name? Brute, splash it all over. What was his name? The magician. Just like that. Tommy Cooper. That's the one. No, Tommy. That's right. Prince Nassim and Tommy Cooper. Mr. Bontoft, how be thee? Thank you, though, Dave. That's the first and probably last donation of tonight's stream. So I'll buy myself 4 grams of durian when I finally get to eat later. Grego said that judge is whack, which is some kind of new, what do they call it? Rhyming slang, no doubt. He does. Mr. Bontoft, I'll tell you now what I will be telling Dave when he finally comes on here. Get a multi-direct... I don't want to tell him really because I like his show, but get a multi-directional mic because every time he turns away, which he does all through the stream, you can't hear him.
He can't sit still, can he?
Yeah, no, you just hear the bit when he's facing the mic. Yeah. And it's like, I think if I'd have heard more than 10% of that story, but you start making changes, then it becomes different. And if I've already described it as the best show on YouTube, maybe that's part of what makes it good. So I'm going to just step back. What's this? Show comments on stage. Enable chat overlay. Oh, all right. What? $70 a month. How about I don't enable chat overlay after?
Don't fancy that now?
No, suddenly changed my mind. Good Lord. I'll tell you what, though. So I'm writing this novel about a 14-year-old in 1980.
Hang on, I've got to ask you. What's that?
PJ, did you hear the VAR? Did you hear it? Right, I'm turning it up. So the next one rocks the house down. JP, he says, she ain't got no time for that shit. No, I used that in a video on my lockpicking channel. Ain't got no time for that. It's a classic, though, isn't it? Nice one, JP.
Go on, key blank and half a barrel. What's that?
Oh, what? No one knew. Well, I'm not actually going to tell you. I'll tell you what, I regretted showing you it actually because it's part of a new product. And if anyone in that scene gets wind of it, they might start putting 2 and 2 together and get it released before me. Imagine the slurs. I had a girlfriend once, my only girlfriend who I regret really. And her name was Fleur, and her mother used to knock her about when she was a kid. And she went to school with all black eyes and like hadn't eaten and all that horrible childhood. And they realised there was something wrong at home. And her name was Fleur. And they said to her one day, Fleur, we want you to come and talk. Someone is here to talk to you. And it was like social services, Irish bloke. So she's sitting there just thinking, life's shit. Fleur, remember, that was her name. And this social worker went to her, so, slur, what seems to be the problem? Fucking slur. just keep piling it on. JP sticking with key condom. Chastity belt bump key. Nah. Those padlocks, I'm sorry to ruin it all for you. Those padlocks on chastity belts, they're just for sexy show. I could open one of them with an hairpin. I mean, I haven't needed to, thankfully. That would be awful. I'd have all sorts of problems with something like that. I will tell you what that thing is, because it will still make no difference. This is to help you when you're key impressioning, so you can put it in. There's the pin chambers. See them holes? So you can put it in, and about 2 mil of the key sticks over the top of that cutaway section. So when you turn it that way, you can see where the pin chambers are. So you can either get a file and go zit, 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 or you can get Sharpie or something, go dit, 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 and then you can then you know on the key where the pin chambers are. So when you're taking impressions, you know where to file. Genius! Dan Lovett's on the firm. Hello, Dan Lovett. How are you, son? Incredible times. Mouse Cat read Infinite Jest. Glass is on it as well, Infinite Jest, and a couple of other people have read it. And I tell you what, if you've done that and you enjoyed it, I think Brad might have had a go as well. I might be wrong there. But as I said to Mouse Cat earlier, there's a great collection of shorts that he had published when he was a student called The Girl with Curious Hair. And there's another one called Interviews with Hideous Men. And they're cracking short stories. He was absolutely on a roll. I'm a bit disappointed he hung himself in the end. But there you go. The Duper guy says that's a fucking big book with little letters. Yeah, it's about, I think with the footnotes, it runs about 800 pages, doesn't it? Grego's got a great collection of shorts. Yeah. With your Speedos. I get it. I absolutely get it. Right, I've got something else to show you here somewhere. Oi, is Mr. Gold on the firm today? Mr. Gold said he made about 30 grand on Palantir, but I just wanted to find out whether he was... Anyway, if he's not here, it's... I've got to find this thing. Ah, there you go. There's the channel. Hang on. Does anyone here watch Patrick? He's a bit of a frustrating lefty, nearly 1 million subscribers, but some of the... Yeah. Party time. Right, let me just get it to the right bit. Where is it? Oh, this is going to be difficult. It is. It will be worth the wait. He's talking about mega projects, and most of them. Yeah, here we go. Most of them are in Saudi Arabia, UAE and that, because they just want the biggest, the best. They want to do things that they got so much free disposable cash. Oh, let's build a planet. It's that kind of madness, and they just didn't think it. Oh, hang on. You can imagine any architect who's sort of approached by like some Saudi prince. Oh, we want you to make a new country in the water. We've got a budget of $1 billion. You up for it? Yeah. And then you'll take the money and just, you might lose your hands or your head a bit further down the road, but the time between signing the contract, getting the money and getting assassinated is going to be the time of your life. I think I've got it to the right place. Stick with it, people, because at first it's going to make you think, what's this? Just a story about. But listen to some of the things that went wrong. You wouldn't have considered them. They're absolutely amazing. Joshua is giving me an extra view on his laptop. What, you got me on your phone and your laptop? See that, Joshua? That's the kind of thing I respect and appreciate and admire. You are a gentleman and a scholar. A donation would have been preferred, but, that is, in a way, that you've donated an extra view. Don't forget to like the stream, people. Wasn't it nice having Dan here last week? Here, I'll check this out. He's a funny bloke, actually. I've got to say, he's got a... JP said a billion is a quintillion, which is good to know. Next time I'm working out my personal accounts, I'll know not to say a billion, won't I? When I get to that quintillion. Yeah, I'll check this out. So if I'm right, this is going to be, if I've got it to the right bit, this is going to be one of the, like, what would you call it? Like a town in the sea. What could possibly go wrong with a town in the sea? Right. Oh, that was the wrong thing. I wanted to do something else. Here we go. Forgive me, people. I am not all here today. I am fucking knackered. I think, what have I had to eat today? It was something ridiculous. Like, well, when sometimes you're eating and you're like, this doesn't count. You're like, Nah, this isn't nutrition. What was it? See,
No,
can't
Chris,
even
I don't
remember.
know that. I've not done that for 2
No,
years.
well, there you go. I don't have that when my missus is here, but anyway, yes, Amsterdam is. I think the whole of Holland is. You know, they just built the dikes, didn't they? I think most of the Netherlands
Yeah, it's near
is
where I
below.
live as well, in a place called, they call it South Holland, an area of Lincolnshire, because the Dutch came over and helped drain it. It was all swamps and islands.
Do they ever contract it to Solent?
Beg your pardon?
Grego wants to know who was it who had what literally or in the story. John Palmer wants to know when we'll see the first Quinn. Yeah, thanks, mate. Oh, that's why they. Hello, Charlie Sparkles, and she certainly does. Lovely accent, Charlie. Lovely. I've heard her talk. You see, we exchanged messages. I don't know. Lartus will probably know. Lartus is your man for things like that. Anyway, let's check out this. I want you to see some of the. Well, let me just roll VT. Roll VT.
Jebel Ali is another artificial palm-shaped island in Dubai. It began construction in 2002 and was supposed to be completed by mid-2008. It was badly located outside of the city in an industrial area near the port. The project was put on hold.
Right, so just consider that. You see all that area there, I don't know if you can see my mouse, that's just like industry. That's like smoke, fumes, noise and all that. Oh yeah, let's build them there. That thing at the top left, that's another one. That's meant to be the world. That's meant to be, that's called something like World Island. That, if you can see my cursor, I'll tell you what I might be able to do. This might fuck everything up. Right, there you go. That bit under there, is that showing? That didn't show on your screen, did it? I thought I could pull that off. But that's the UK there. So this is all China. That's going to be Russia. You get the idea. Now, note that thin white line around it because that's important. And see these two palm-shaped things? Now, remember, you're on the edge of an industrial estate. So imagine somewhere hideous in England that's just industry. And then they're like, right, we're going to build these luxury palm villas, these luxury palm islands. And, you know, they've got properties on them. These are for living in. These are like towns. You know, they're huge. They're not like, 20 meters long, each of these things. These are huge. But man, you wait till you hear the things that went wrong, not least of which was the fact that loads of like international drug lords and shot callers bought houses on there. So who's going to move on there? Don't upset the neighbours. That's his joke, not mine. Roll VT.
When real estate prices started collapsing in 2007, and it was relaunched last year. It was originally supposed to be 50% larger than the Palm Jumeirah. The homes on this island, when built, will be arranged to spell out a poem by Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, reading...
Right, did you get that? The actual houses on that palm-shaped thing, so, most traditional old industrial revolution housing estates in the UK are blocks. They're blocks. That's how it was. But they decided to write them in Arabic, a poem by one of the top geezers in the Arab world. Not only is the poem far too long to consider building a housing estate out of, just listen to the poem. There might be something lost in translation, but I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt.
The homes on this island, when built, will be arranged to spell out a poem by Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, reading, "Take wisdom from the wise, it takes a man of vision to ride on water. Not everyone who rides a horse is a jockey. Great men rise to greater challenges." He's not really a poet by trade. I think it's much more of a hobby for him, and I'm sure he does other things which he's really good at. Last May, the Palm Jebel Ali was relaunched with the announcement that it would now be even bigger, twice the size of the Palm Jumeirah, which hopefully means twice as many jellyfish too. The project...
Sorry, I have to give you a bit of backstory. The Palm Jumeirah, the one that this is based on, because of the design of it, the water's full of jellyfish, because once they get in there, they can't get out because of the way the tides work. So it's not like you've got a luxury villa where you can just walk down to your front garden and go for a dip in the ocean. It's literally full of jellyfish. And I know places like that. There's a place down in Sihanoukville where, because they built a lot of, they put an artificial breach in the sea, it's just always jellyfish, including box jellyfish, which if you touch them, you're dead. And sewage. And on one of them, you have to buy your own sewage. Oh, and there's no electricity, so you need a generator as well.
Aims to house 35,000 families, and they say something about a master plan and renewable energy, which I'm sure is great. A mega project wouldn't be a mega project without some master plan and environmental claims. A third palm-shaped island was partially built. Construction was halted. It was then renamed twice, and the new master plan, that's not my term, it's theirs, seems to involve it no longer being shaped like a palm. Instead, it'll be shaped like whatever it looks like now. There will be 80 hotels on this thing, and no official opening date has been announced yet. And I'm not sure that it really matters anyhow. They're all slowly sinking into the sea, allegedly. The most disastrous of...
He says allegedly, but satellite footage has proved that these islands are disappearing.
The artificial island projects in Dubai, other than the ones that were quite wisely cancelled before construction, is the World Archipelago, which cost around $10 billion to construct. It's supposed to look like a map of the world, and it kind of does if all of the countries got chewed up and spat into the ocean. Unlike the Palm projects, it doesn't even have a monorail or a road. If you buy an island, you then need to brave the jellyfish-infested waters in a boat. A street called Raining Street was planned as part of the Heart of Europe project, where artificial rainfall would occur whenever the outdoor temperature exceeded 27 degrees centigrade, with the objective being to make a close copy of the southern European climate. The initial plan was that utilities would be routed underwater, with pumping stations providing fresh water to each of the islands. Power was supposed to be provided through underwater cables too. None of this was ever installed, and buyers instead have to provide their own power using diesel generators. Wastewater and refuse systems are the buyer's problem too. Or at least it's more the buyer's problem than it is on the palm-shaped islands. Construction of the 300 islands that make up the world began in 2003 before being halted due to the global financial crisis. 60% of the islands were then sold, as is, to private contractors in 2008, and development on most of the islands has gone nowhere. The World Archipelago was initially pitched as the ultimate in exclusivity, which sounds about right, as there's nothing really more exclusive than being the only person there. There are, of course, claims that these islands are sinking into the sea too, which the developers say are wholly inaccurate. Now, not all of these islands are entirely abandoned. The world island called Lebanon was the first to offer a beach bar and sun loungers, and the resort was opened on the Argentina island in 2021, possibly meaning that the Dubai versions of Lebanon and Argentina have more successful economies than the actual Lebanon and Argentina.
I'll tell you what, people, it's well worth watching that whole thing. The mad thing is that it's what's it called? The dumbest mega projects. But it's not a surprise that nearly all of them are in Saudi Arabia. There's one in China somewhere. But just just ridiculous things. Did you hear that? Rain in the street. There's just umbrellas in it. Like, oh, look, it's got that sense of, oh, if you can do it, we can do it. Oh, if you can have rain in England, we can have rain here as well. Look, but we've got umbrellas in the sky. You've got to provide your own electricity and your own sewage. How do you do that? What is that like? You have to wear nappies or something. How do you? I mean, how do you? I bet they just shit in a bucket and just throw it in the water, feed the jellyfish.
The jellyfish, yeah.
It's absolutely mad. I'll tell you, hello Otto. I'll tell you what is on there. The Elon Musk's Hyperloop. You know, that never going to happen vacuum thing. That's madness. That is absolute madness. Oh yeah, that one of them has also got solar freaking roadways, which is definitely not happening. No, absolutely, John. But because they've put borders around it in an attempt to stop the jellyfish coming in, but it actually stopped the jellyfish getting out. If you throw that sewage into the sea, it's just going to sit there and stagnate, even though it's already stagnated because the tides don't affect it. So that water is just stagnant. Apparently these places smell like human poo because the water isn't getting a chance to do what water does. It's just sitting there, not moving, not getting aerated. And imagine a tropical fish tank owned by a junkie and he died and it just sat there for 20 years. That's what that water is, like loads of dead fish on the surface, just gasping for air. Oh, it's absolutely incredible. I've got something else I wanted to show you. I badly need a piss, man. Oh, I tell you what, I don't do a lot of football on this channel, but I saw a video today, an Arsenal video, and it said Sane decision made. And I was thinking, oh, please no. Thankfully, the decision was he's not coming to Arsenal. Thank fuck for that. That would have been absolutely ridiculous. Oh, I've watched so many videos. I can't find it. Oh, you know, we were talking last time about Trump and Elon Musk's falling out.
Yeah.
And you said that there was something a bit fishy about it.
Well, I said my opinion then was that it's not the major spat that it was being made out to be. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't.
Well, I obviously looked into
one was
it.
Going for blood.
Well, I looked into it after the stream and have been following it during the week. And all I can think, sorry, I'm just checking the other channels. I think the whole thing's has been rigged and set up. I think it was been set up because now they're making friends again.
Yeah.
And I think it's benefited both of them and projects they're both working on in a strange way. I mean, they're too intelligent. There's too much at stake to have a public argument like that. You know, no way did those two blokes sit in a room and go, I hate you, Elon. I hate you, Donald. I'm going to slag you off on the internet. Go on, get out and don't ever come around my house again. Not a chance, because Musk knows that risks damaging his reputation, therefore his many businesses. Trump knows that risks damaging the presidency of the United States. I think it's been a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's theatre, but that's not the word I'm looking for. It's been. Someone will know in the chat. Lars, what's the word I'm looking for? Hello, Pags. Not double talk. I don't know what that is. The jellyfish eat. Yeah, exactly. But can you imagine? Imagine the mutant poo-eating jellyfish. Imagine getting stung by one of them. Not only do you have to deal with the sting, but the stink as well. Imagine going to hospital. What's that smell? Oh, another jellyfish bite from one of those Saudi islands. Hello, Baz. Baz, I noticed that you time, what's it called, Packer, when you time stamped that bit where I said Basil like it. I'm glad you noticed that. Nice to see. I'm so far behind on the old
charade. They're saying, is it a charade?
Yeah, that's sort of what I'm looking for. An affectation, said Colonel Custard. No, there is another word. I'm sure it'll come to me. Have I said hello to you, Grego? Joel Goodson. Hello, Joel. I don't know. I really think Trump likes being called a pedo by the world's richest man. Well, there you go. Exactly. So, and today Elon Musk has said, I'm sorry about what I said last week. I think I went a bit too far. No, I think you bloody
It just
did
made
as
me
well.
laugh when Trump came out and said, of course, that really was a Nazi salute he was doing. We all know it was. And it was so tongue in cheek the way he said it as well, that he was having a dig, not having a dig.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
it makes no sense. I think it might actually be a very clever move on their parts. That's what I think. I think the whole thing's been rigged. Oh, there's still a word, and I can't think of it, but it doesn't really matter.
Ruse.
Pardon?
Ruse.
Ruse is good. Ruse is the best one so
Not
far,
me,
but I think.
Duper guy said that, not me.
Hello, Bill. How are you? Long time no see in the chat. Blogs. How are you, man? A masquerade is lovely. Yeah, I think I'm gonna that has beaten ruse. Subterfuge, an element of that in there for sure, young Vincent. Catherine says they're both overtired. Tears before bedtime. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
They've been getting far too excited lately. That's the trouble.
I mean, it would be hard not to, though, wouldn't it? Imagine having that sort of money and power. Oh, I tell you what, I don't want this to turn into a celebrity gossip channel. I mean, I wouldn't mind. It'd be all right. But the Diddy cult stuff is something else, isn't it, man? Have you been following it, Packer? Have you been watching any of it?
No, but I was going to say earlier when you said about Nick Ricator, he went full Diddy, did he?
He went full Ken Doddy. A performance is good, John. We can drop that now, people. I think we've had enough synonyms for ruse. If anyone has anyone in the chat been hearing anything they've been saying about Diddy's freakouts? It's hideous, man. And I tell you what, it's a proper expose. So many people are involved. They took John Wick. I know that's not his real name, but Keanu Reeves, he got invited. And Diddy wanted John Wick to bathe in Diddy's used bathwater. And Keanu Reeves is like, I don't know if I'm going to do that. And then he give him like a crystal, and he was like, when you bring this crystal back next time, you'll know that you belong, and then you'll understand why bathing in the filthy water of my love. It's just absurd. And I was trying to think of the psychology of it. Years and years ago, Dave Chappelle done a wicked joke about Diddy, and it was like a reality TV show where P. Diddy was like the host, but he had these massive fellas carrying him everywhere. So when he come in, he was just being carried, and they'd go to the contestants, and that's where Cambodian breast milk first come from. He said to me, he comes in, he's being carried, and he went, "You've been good. You've been good this week. I need you to go out and get me the finest Cambodian breast milk." And that's their task for the day. And when they come back, he drinks a bit of it, and he's like, "Yeah, that's good." But the weird thing about it is, apparently Chappelle has got links to. Now, I don't want to go into this too much, but there was just parties, and then there was the freak-offs, and they're different things. But it's proper like Illuminati, P. Diddy losing his mind, thinking he's like some kind of like magician, like some kind of sorcerer almost. At the same time, loads of women are being violently abused. It's like it's hell on earth for the women. It's Charlie said, I popped into the other room. The convo took a funny turn. Yeah, you come back to that, Charlie. Do apologise. I'm telling you, it's weird. And that's what made me think about Trump. And Brad says he's a sorcerer. Joel wants to know if P. Diddy is a nickname improvement on Puff Daddy. No, it's not, is it? It's not. There's a geezer in Dartford, and he gets stoned with his son, and we call him Puff Daddy. I thought that was quite good. But I think it's all just about power. Imagine having all that money, all that influence. Like, how do you get any value out of anything? You know, when I was like 17 and I pulled a hot bird, I done that with very little money, just using my silver tongue, my purple penis. But do you know what I mean? I achieved something just with the gifts that the great Lord gave me. But when you've got power at that level, you know, it's the old casting couch thing, isn't it? And you've got all that money, even Elon. I think that wrecks your life. I think you're wrecked. I think, you know, like someone got me a Rolex once. It was a nice vintage Rolex, not the Submariner I wanted, but it was nice. But when it broke, I tried to get it repaired, and the bloke repairing it said, he said, no, I can't repair this. He said, it's got radiation in it and you shouldn't really wear it. Thanks. But I would quite like a nice Rolex. I'd like a nice Submariner, just a watch so I can rely on for the rest of my life. They're a good investment. They go up in value. Give it to my kid. Lovely. Can't afford one yet, though, but that time might come. But can Elon Musk get a nice watch and enjoy it? He can get any watch. He can go to Rolex and say, can you make an Elon Musk Rolex, please? Can you put like a diamond image of my very strange... Do you know what I mean? It's like he can't... I know buying things, but like, so I think that's why these people turn to absurd, surreal, and essentially, ultimately, vicious, spiteful things.
The question is if you had the power and the money to do anything, what dumb shit would you end up doing?
Well, exactly. That's...
At some point, you're going to get bored with the Rolexes and the fast cars and the yachts.
I'd like to think I'd give most of it away.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm serious as well.
It's meaning, isn't it?
It's too dangerous. What I'd probably do is go, right, so let's say I came into $1 billion, right? Oh, you're the only remaining long-lost Dangerfield of Lord Dangerfield of Penzance way. Here's your £1 billion. So, okay. Hello, mate. You all right, son? Good to see you.
He heard you came into money.
Well, you've taught him well. He's got a scent for it. But then I'd think, right, this is how old I am. This is how long I got left. You know, children, missus, what, blah, blah. How much do I actually need to be certain of being comfortable? And the missus, like once I cark it. And I'd probably give the rest away, probably to my mates as well, but not enough to ruin their lives. But like, you know, write a long list of people who've been good to me over the years and be like, here, mate, here's a couple of $100,000. Go take your family on holiday for a couple of years. I think I just, because if I was to get that much money, I could publish all my novels tomorrow, spend enough money marketing them that they sold like 500,000 copies. That only takes money to do that. You know, you just pay media, you pay influencers.
Yeah.
Pay and then get paid reviews, good reviews. So suddenly my life's passion has lost all value. Oh, I sold 500,000 on my latest novel. It's a New York Times bestseller, Amazon bestseller. This person said this about it. This person said this about it. This person. It's another ruse. It's another pantomime. And I could do that. And the question is, would I struggle writing to fucking agents and doing all that other stuff? You know, I will market my self-published novel, but not with a lot of money. I mean, I haven't got it. So it will be nice if I can use that little bit of money to make it successful. But once you take those barriers, those limits away, that kind of pulls the rug out of my life's passion. That's like the sort of thing the devil does to you. That's stealing your soul, isn't it? I mean that. It's satanic. You know, that's a kind of biblical story. Go on, mate.
Sorry, you froze then. Yeah, so I had an advert on the radio today, and they're doing I think it's at some point in the near future. I wasn't paying that much attention, but it's a Friday the 13th lottery.
Hang on, start again. Start again. I was reading something ridiculous.
There's some lottery, and the significance is that they're going to make 30 millionaires on a Friday. It's a Friday the 13th.
Yeah, but who is?
Some lottery.
What, in England?
I don't know, mate. On the radio, I assumed so. It was in England, right?
Right.
I wasn't paying that much attention, but my mind went straight to how many lives does winning the lottery ruin, and what are the chances of that happening when you win your million on Friday the 13th?
Yeah, it's a kind of I get you. Yeah, I mean,
at which point
I think that winning the lottery thing ruining lives is exaggerated. I mean, a lot of people just get on all right with it. There are, without doubt, victims of it. But I watched a documentary about it, and it said that, you know, the amount of people who've actually won sort of, you know, 5 mil, 10 mil, 20 mil, they've actually done all right, you know. But that's not news, is it? That's not an interesting story. 1999 lottery winner, doing all right, having a great life. 7 grand.
Big house, lives in the country, goes on holiday a lot.
Yeah, likes horse riding. But the geezer that put a fucking motorbike track in his garden and all that and went to prison for cocaine. That's what you want to hear. Oi, let me know, chat. Let me know. Hang on, I just see Anglo. Hello, son. You all right? There's no way Elon is the richest man on earth, in my opinion. I read something the other day that said someone else's, but it's a weird one. Wealth, though, isn't it? It's a weird one. What's his name? I'm thinking Milton Friedman, but it's the other bloke. Berkshire. Who owns Berkshire Hathaway? I always get it confused with Milton Babbitt.
Well, it's got to be one of them lot that runs the bank.
Warren Buffett. There you go. Listen to this. The CEO of Coca-Cola, the CEO, the chief executive officer of Coca-Cola, got something like $3 million wages, right, for the last year. 3.5 million. But the government are going to take half of that. You know, the government are going to take half of that. Do you know the top 1% of American 1% of America pay more than 50% of the taxes? It's so fucked. But Warren Buffett, who invested in Coca-Cola, took $300,000 in dividends tax-free. And is that what kind of a system is that, where the fucking CEO gets 1.5 mil and the investor takes 300,000 mil? No, 300. What was it? 300 mil. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Ban says to invest in World War II watches, or at least before the 60s. Yeah, but watch out for that fucking plutonium or whatever it is. You know, they so that the numbers glow in the dark and the hands glow in the dark. That's what my Rolex had. So it's just sitting in a box over there. Like, I can't throw it away, but it. Like one of the blokes who said you can't get it repaired because no one will go near it, because once you take that glass frame off, it's just cancer. But I still can't throw it away. It's not like really expensive, probably worth about £1,200. But it's also,
you shouldn't just throw it away, Chris. It's pollution.
I've got to wrap it in a lead box or something.
You can't just throw it away.
I remember when I moved out of Soho, I had about 100 Li-ion 18650 vape batteries, like a proper fire hazard. And I thought I should really do something proper with these. And of course, they're still there in a cardboard box the day before I moved out. I just went downstairs and poured them into the bin. Lord knows what. I just can't imagine what happened when they put them in the back of like a dust van or something, and as it compressed. If anyone knows anything about a lot of dustmen losing their faces, that was me.
We had a fire inspection at work the other week, and he was looking round and he saw that I keep my tool batteries in a metal cupboard in the shed.
Right.
And he said, "Oh, that's really good, because obviously they've now discovered that they too can just suddenly go off one day because no one ever uses the butt of their drill, which is the battery. No one ever uses that as a hammer to knock the wall plug into the wall in the hole you've just drilled with it. No one ever does that. Well, that can cause them to go off. So he said, it's very good that's in a metal cabinet. And I said, well, if that battery decides to melt and go off, what's a fucking metal cabinet going to do other than melt?
It's weird, isn't it? The amount of power in, like, even just, the 18650s. When I used to have a proper vape where I'd have to charge, a mod, every single time I took a puff of it, I was terrified it was going to take my face off, because that has happened. Plenty of people have lost their faces to it. The last Mzungu, that you used to be poked the bear, didn't you? You might have missed that at the beginning. I got a liege off Temu for a tenner. Keeps good time and hasn't broken yet. I had a mate come out to visit me when I went to Thailand for about 4 months, and he bought 5 snide Rolexes. Now, these ain't super clones. I don't know if you know about super clones, but they're almost indistinguishable from real Rolexes. But you're paying $5,000 for one. What kind of a world do you pay $5,000 for a watch is counterfeit? It's like, what? And I've seen them on YouTube where they get like an expert in and they say, go on, which one's the real one? And like people are getting it wrong. And then he shows them, and it's such tiny little details. But one bloke's argument was, he said the mechanism, it's not just the look of it. You take the back off. He said, here's where it gets complicated. He said, this mechanism is as good as a Rolex mechanism. It's been built as good. The quality is as good as an original. So at what point do we say the only difference is it wasn't built in a Rolex factory? It's weird, isn't it? Anyway, my mate bought 5, right? Not super clones. They were like 20 quid a pop, sort of on, street corner, geezer with a little box. And he bought these 5 snide Rolexes. I was like, what, mate? They're absolute shit. He went, they'll all enjoy them poncing around Dartford with their Rolexes on. And I said, yeah, but they won't. He said to me, they didn't even last the flight home. He said when he got to Heathrow and he was on the coach back to Dartford, he got them out, and all 5 of them had both hands just at the bottom, like just aimed down. Hello, Winstoner. Lara says 2 million would give enough interest to live a normal life. Yeah, for sure. For sure. What I'd probably, if I had 2 mil, I'd put it all on the S&P. That's what I'd do. And just live off the interest. live off the money that the S&P will bring me in. Casa Calling says, never give people money, pay their mortgage, debts, etc. The rest is up to them. That's a great call. That's a great call, actually. I've got one of my best mates. He got together with this bird, and he didn't know how rich she was. Stayed with her for years, and they inherited about 5 mil the other couple of years ago. He's now got 2 kids, lives on his own fucking estate with a lake. He's got his own aqueduct. He even gets weed off of a doctor. It's like he gets prescribed weed for back pain. It's like some ridiculously expensive prescription, legal. He walks around London just smoking biftas. So when the old Bill come over to me, he's like, "You all right, mate? It's all legal. Can you talk a bit slower, mate? I'm a bit fucked." Ridiculous. Who mentioned Patek Philippe? I had a girlfriend who used to like Patek Philippe watches. Joshua says it costs too much time and money to flex how much value your possessions once had. I don't understand that. I'm not talking about flexing them. I just like a nice watch. That's all. I don't, I'm not talking about one of these 80 grand jobs, but that's what pisses me off about that fucking rehab I went to. I could have used that money and got myself a nice second-hand Submariner. But instead of that, they nearly killed me and charged me 16 grand for the pleasure, you cheeky cunts. Everyone I tell that story says, why haven't you sued them? Because they've got more money than me. I would have signed my life off somewhere along the line, and I haven't got the time or the energy to spend the next 5 years going to court every... Oh, man. Cheeky bastards. What today? I thought Brian Wilson died years ago. Has he just died today? The Beach Boys were going to get back together. I can't remember exactly when it was. Mid-80s maybe, and the tour was called Brian's Back. But Brian went absolutely nuts. Brian Wilson went mad as a hatter. In one of his rooms in his mansion, he filled it with sand and put a piano in it because he wanted to get the real Beach Boys sound. And but he also liked dogs, and he also liked hamburgers. And people would turn up at his house, and they'd go into his room where he had his piano, and it'd just be full of dog shit and hamburger wrappers. Not really turned out. And he's all like, he's got the jitters. He's like, yeah. So anyway, everyone was like, when are the Beach Boys going to get back together? And one day, mad Brian Wilson went, I'll do it. So they come up with this tour, Brian's Back, and they sell tickets, they put posters, they advertise it, they do interviews, and at the last minute, Brian Wilson's like, I ain't doing it. I can't do it. So the rest of the band do the tour, Brian's Back, but he ain't. Imagine. It's like going to see Pink Floyd. Sid's back. And you're thinking, no, why am I going to see Sid Barrett? No, you ain't. So last
it's actually the plot of the new Spinal Tap movie.
Go on again, Packer, sorry?
So it's actually the plot to the new Spinal Tap movie.
Yeah.
Just pick one of the drummers.
Lartus reckons we've never heard of the richest people in the world. It's got to be someone like the Sackler family, or let's have a look. Let's see what the Oracle says. I'm going to go for family. I think that's going to be better than person. People, put your suggestions in now. I get your point, though, Lartus, that they're rich enough to be invisible, so to speak. Okay, so Vincent reckons it's the Wallenbergs. Panks is thinking about a poison drink. Right, well, this is the first line is what I was saying about Elon. It's about how you measure wealth. Like, I was a millionaire in my 30s, in as much as my business could have been sold for about 1.8 million. But I didn't have £1 million in my bank. And if I'd have sold it for 1.8 million, I'd have been taxed to fuck, and I still wouldn't have had that. But I had assets worth over $1 million. It was weird because it didn't feel like it. I was fucking starving. Right. Who else? What other suggestions have we got? Pags says he's a cunt and lives off poison. Who are we talking about now, Pags? I think I'm so behind here.
Rothschilds and Rockefellers.
Jack's London of History of Hardcore says, evening all. Ballymena says no to... I can't say that. Jack, I will be finishing long before your stream. I know you're streaming tonight. I'm not going to be doing a long one. I'm absolutely shattered. And no one's giving me any donations. People don't like my stream anymore. Lovely to see 90 people midweek, though. That is lovely. Look at JP. Why is he so funny? Jack London's History of Hardcore Gay Boy. Think about this, people. Forget everything else as if you're in a meditative self-awareness state. Good old JP, John Palmer, he sat at home right now. He saw Jack London turn up and he went, I know. Think of John Palmer's life. Like, he was born, his parents were happy, he was brought out of the womb, and then he learned and he was curious, and then he met girls and he fell in love and it went wrong and he had a pill and he went out and he went, I'm whizzing my fucking tits off, my love. And all the things that happened to him and everything he's done in his whole life. And this isn't just John, obviously, this is all of us. But everything that in his whole life has led to the moment where he went, Jack London's History of Hardcore Gay Boy. It's amazing. It's amazing. Right, apparently the House of Saud, the Saudi royal family, covers a lineage of around 15,000 members, although the money is concentrated in 2,000 royals. Hang on a minute. Slow down. Pags has dropped to Lady Godiva. Bless you, Pags. Very kind of you. I still don't know who's drinking poison, though. I still don't know. I saw a few comments about that. It's good. You know what? I can hear John Palmer at home going, in that weird, strangely his voice gets deep, and he, Cheers, Pagar. Pagar was a new one. House of Saud. Apparently, they're worth 1.4 trillion. Now, the people who own the Walmart, I think Vincent, was that who you were talking about, Vincent? The people who own Walmart, they're worth 432 bill. That's a bit of a step down, though, from 1.4 trillion, isn't it? Good Lord. So according to the old AI, it goes from the House of Saudi, 1.4 trillion, to the Walton family. That's not the Waltons, is it? Good night, John boy. I've got a supermarket to set up. 432 bill. Did anyone here watch that Dope Sick about the Sackler family and about OxyContin? I thought it was brilliant, actually. I thought that the way they portrayed the Sackler family, just unpleasant, evil people. Not nice at all. Anglo knew it. Well, did you call it as Saudis, Anglo?
Yeah.
The King of Thailand. I've heard before that the King of Thailand's worth a few quid. Right, I've gone. Right, did I tell you this before? Just in case none of you heard me before. I'll have a look now, Casa Colin. Out there now, there's a bloke walking up the street and he's got a bit of bamboo and a stick and he's going, dick, dick, dock, dick, dick. Can you hear it?
Okay.
There'll be different ones of them every hour from now until about 4 o'clock in the morning. And if I wanted, I could go out onto my balcony, call him, and say, "Oi, go and get me some fried rice with prawns, some durian, and an iced coffee." And he'd go and find all that. He'll come back. I'll throw my line down. You know, like you throw a line in prison, like a bit of string. So I'm not haven't got to go. I'll show you. I've got it right. I used it today.
I'll have pie and mash covered in liquor and a pint of light and bitter.
Throw my line down. There you go. Toss that down 2 floors and then tie it all to it. And I'd pull it up. And then in the bag that it came up in, I'd put the money and that'd go down. That's what that is. It's quite clever. This is what I mean about countries that don't have welfare. The geezer's got no skills. Well, I'm assuming he hasn't. He's not that bright. Blah, 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 blah. What can I do? I can make use of other people's laziness. So they just walk around. They've all got their different rhythms as well, because some people you get to trust, you know, so you hear the certain rhythm. You think, oh, that's my man. He knows that what food I like. Yeah, look, he's coming back down now. Can you hear it? Yeah, and so like at 3 o'clock in the summer, I use them sometimes. Like 3 o'clock in the morning, I think, oh, I can half do with a nice big bottle of Yop. It's a bit tricky explaining it to him, but in the end, I've lowered my phone down before with a photo on it, and he's taken a photo of my photo, gone to the mart, and come back with it. Translating a family-sized bag of marshmallows, that ain't easy though. Right, here we go, people. Here are the top richest individuals in the world as of 2025, according to the Forbes ranking. Right, so this is Forbes, if you trust Forbes. In at number 1, Musk. He's worth 342 billion. That apartheid worked out quite well for him. In at number 2, Mark, I'm now a Chad Zuckerberg. His transformation's so cringe. I mean, I'm so glad that the internet and iPhones weren't around when I was a kid, but what is he doing? He's just like this muscle man now with like permed hair and a bit of gold jewelry. It's like, stop it. When you were a robot, you were ridiculous, but now you're faux-diculous. Or ridiculous.
What was that mean? It used to be a dog, like a cartoon Labrador dog, and then it was the same dog's head but on a beefed up body. It reminds me of that. Do you remember that?
I haven't got.
It's very old.
Anyone know what Packer's talking about? Where's the King of Thailand on this? Anyway, I won't tell you how much it's worth anyway, but Jeff Bezos in at number 3, Larry Ellison, number 4, Bernard Arnold, Warren Buffett in at 6, ain't bad, Larry Page at 7, Sergey Brin at 8, Amancio Ortega, number 9, and Steve Ballmer. But I know, I'll tell you what, that's Steve Ballmer's Microsoft. And I'll go down quick, though, and look how many of them, look at all that. Musk, Zuckerberg, Bezos, Ellison, Page, Brin, Ortega, and Ballmer. So 8 out of that top 10 richest people, all tech. All tech. Now listen, I'm going to say this to you now. At the beginning of this stream, I said to you that AI is an industrial revolution. If you trust my ability to understand culture, and you should, because I'm quite good at it. And I also said we've only just seen the tip of the iceberg. If you've got the time, 5 years minimum, 15 years would be ideal. The stock market is ripe for an absolute smashing. I'm telling you now, if you could get 300 quid a month on the NASDAQ 100, top 100 tech companies, and just forget about it. Just get that 300 in every month. 15 years, you'll be looking at 4 or 5 million. And if you're English, That's your ISA. That's tax free. I will stake my reputation on it that in 5 years' time, you'll see that I was right. That what we talk about AI, there's nothing at the moment. You know, when we were kids, you used to get those little polystyrene aeroplanes that you threw and they went round in a circle and then broke. And you'd buy them in a shop and you'd sort of have to put them together. Well, compare one of them to a drone. That's where we are now. At the moment, the AI is like that little polystyrene like plane that done a loop and then broke. But in 5 years, it will be like a drone. Think how much the Industrial Revolution changed things. Well, that's coming. That's coming now. When the stock market corrected, when Trump started his tariffs, if anyone here remembers, I said buy. I mean, I did. I didn't have a lot, but I did. I risked it. I risked money that's for the house. And thankfully, but if you're young or if you've got children, get them on it. Now, that doesn't mean just go and invest. It means go and do your due diligence, learn how it works. But I'm telling you, it's going to be a mad 5, 10, 15 years for the stock market in that direction.
Greco says he's in the brick fund. Have you blown the brick fund?
I haven't blown the brick fund at all. No, thankfully I haven't. Right, let's have a look. King of Thailand. Sorry, Cassie, you've asked me that a few times. Because the King of Thailand, the reason he does well is he's clever. He's got all his investments are in things like infrastructure. He owns concrete, he owns the roads, he owns the water system. So anytime Thailand expands, they have to go to his companies. You're not allowed to go to others because he's the king. They've got a thing out there. What's it called, Latas and Pags? It's something like lèse-majesté. And that literally, well, it actually does literally mean, but I don't want to say literally, it's not needed. But that means if you criticize the royal family, they can kill you. It's illegal to criticize the royal family. And again, it's like what I was saying earlier about foreigners in Cambodia getting charged more. I think it should be like that. They're your royal family. And now if you as a people don't want them, do something about it. But if you are going to have them, then you should admire them. You should elevate them. It's a symbol of your nation. As of the most recent available estimates, King Maha Vajiralongkorn of Thailand, Rama X, Rama X, Swadikap, is believed to have a net worth of 30 to 40 billion. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. And there you go. Ownership, and it says much of his wealth stems from ownership and control of the Crown Property Bureau, which manages substantial assets, including land, property, and major stakes in listed companies such as the Siam Cement Group and the Siam Commercial Bank. Because, of course, Thailand used to be called Siam. And that's why you get Siamese cats. Now, Thai, the word Thai means free. When they changed the name of Siam to Thailand, Thailand means free land, which is ironic, really, considering it's just as military juntas every 5 years. I'll tell you what, man, anyone here been to Thailand in the last couple of years, it's just one big cannabis party. Everywhere you go stinks of the finest weed. Like even pharmacies have got like little jars of weed everywhere. And they're not pretending that they're medicine. They're, Hindu Kush, Amnesia Haze. I'll have a couple of grams of that. I bought half a gram of what was it? I can't even remember what it was. I just said to him, I want 100% indica, and he went, all right. And half a gram's nothing. This is from someone who used to wake and bake, right? Me and my missus were there. She'll have a smoke as well occasionally. We were there for 3 whole days, but 4 if you include the day we arrived. And because it's only over there, the day we arrived like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I think I threw away most. I think we had 1 bifter. And we were both so fucking hammered. The next day I went, I don't know about that, doing that again. She was like, no. It was weird though, because I thought, shall I just offer it to someone? But I don't want to go up to someone in the street and go, do you want some weed? No, I don't want it. I'll take it back to the shop. You can have that back, mate. Oh man, I need a wee. Right. Hang on. Right, what's the time? Those boys are going to be streaming soon, people. I am going to get a bit of music up. I'm sorry I haven't been streaming as much as usual. It's just this novel, working all day and writing all night, obviously doesn't leave me a lot of time. The missus is back tomorrow as well, so that's why I sneaked this one in, because she says she doesn't mind, but she always really minds, because like it's now 12:30 and she'll be in bed, and she says, no, it's fine. And then when I get in bed, she's like, can you talk a little bit quieter next time? And I'm like, no. Hello, everyone. That's ridiculous. Packer, I'll let you go, son. Thanks for coming in. Sorry you didn't get that email. Have you got an email account?
Yeah, of course I have. I've emailed you. You just like talking to our missus, that's all.
I actually feel bad. I always just go, hello, pass this on to him. Email me again, and then I'll be able to send it straight to you.
That won't make any difference because I don't look at my emails.
All right,
I'll feel better off sending it to her. It's just she ain't here tonight.
Not a boy. I know where she is.
Go
I
on.
don't know. I haven't got. It's not there tonight. I'm not quick-witted enough. Look after yourself, Packer. Give Packer some love in the chat, people. Ta-da, mate. Thanks for coming on. Without you, it would have been ridiculous. Ta-da, mate. When he weren't here, because usually he's down there like he is now, and before the stream I have a little chat with him, and he weren't there, and I was like, I can't do it. I can't cancel. I'm just too knackered. I'll be up now till 5 o'clock in the morning, because it's the last chance I'll get. Well, it's not really, but when the missus comes back, I'd like to go to sleep with her a few times. But there you go. Well, listen, thank you, people. I hope that wasn't too much like hard work. There's still 80 people here, so I can't have been that bad, but I'm fucked. Listen, by the way, I am going to do something for members. I've worked out what to do. I've got a Discord. I've had it for years for Midjourney. But members are going to be able to access that. And I'll access it as well. So like during the middle of the day when I'm just having a break from work or something, I'll go in there and it will just be a chat. We can just chat in the Discord and you know, no set times. So you might just be able to pop your head in there. There might be 2 of us in there. There might be 10 of us in there. I think that might be quite a good thing for members. I've got to do something for members. It's funny in that, having members that don't get any perks. But I thought actually it would be nicer to do something. And I was talking to a mate and he said, no, the Discord's great. He said, work's an absolute treat. So we'll do that. I will be putting your messages on the screen as I go. I will be streaming at the weekend, Wednesday, probably Friday. So this is a little bit of music. Look after yourselves, people. Don't forget to tell people you love that you love them, because we do forget from time to time and they really do want to hear it. In fact, I'd go as far as to say they need to hear it. I love it. Me and my missus tell each other we love each other about 20 times a day, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Look after yourselves, scrubs. This is the Matoid with Funeral Party. Ta-ta!
1, 2, 3, 7, get! Right on, baby. The priest is here, and the gas.
Don't forget Jack London's History of Gay Boys is on, starting in about 20 minutes.
Let's get this ready. body inside.
Hello, Doc.
Looks nice and steady. Let's play it for the man. For the last time, play it for the man. Farewell. Play it for the man. For the last time, play it for the man. Praise the Lord, and we got to go on with the funeral party. 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 Yeah! All right. Now the priest is talking, and the casket starts to move. Everybody's crying. We all got the groove. Let's play it for the man. For the last time, play it for the man. Farewell. Play it for the man. For the last time, play it for the man. Praise the Lord, and we got to go on with the funeral party. 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 Yeah! All right. Everybody cry. Praise the Lord. Yeah. Praise the Lord, and we got to go on with the funeral party. 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 Party, 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 party.
All right, it was Mathoid Madness. I praise the Lord indeed. But you know what? I watch a bit of Russell Brand now and again, and I watched him do a thing the other day, and it was one of the best videos he ever made. And I wrote a comment. I said, I've never really liked you, Brand. I said, but that was quite a good breakdown. But he's overplaying the God and Jesus bit. It gets a bit cloying, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know quite what's going on there. I'm not quite sure if I quite understand it. Nice one, Picard. Chris, thanks for having me. See you all, scrubs. Lovely. I don't know. There's something. It will do, Anglo. I don't know what it is. There's something a little bit unconvincing about it. I mean, I like the message, and I like someone with his kind of clout. It's a fair point, actually, John. I know I've said it before, but what was it? That comedian, he was an English bloke. He'd done the God grift and he was taking a packet, and then old Unwanted got involved, and he used to get his Bible out at the beginning of the stream and read a bit out. He started shouting at if I don't get £40 in my subscribe star a week, I'm not fucking doing this anymore. I love it. I'm still here 10 years later. What was the vid called? Yeah, let me have a look, because it won't be too hard to find, because it was recent. Not the old video, by the way. I nearly said that while I was saying it, but he actually done quite an interesting breakdown of something, like almost like a semiotic reading of something. And I thought, you've done quite well there. What one is it? Fucking hell, is he doing them every day? I don't know, Vincent. I'll try and I really need a wee. I will have a look, and and if I can find it, I'll pop it in the lifeboat, okay? I don't know where it is. I don't know is the answer. Anyway, people, I need to use the toilet. I need to get some writing done. Look after yourselves. A massive hoit to you all. And a second one. Hoit.